Have you ever heard of Indigo Children?
No, I probably heard of it, and it's probably like, how are you doing? I'd relate it to some hippie thing.
A hippie thing?
Indigo Children.
Yes.
Sounds hippie.
Well, Ruby, have you ever heard of Indigo Children?
I've heard of Indigo Girls.
Indigo Girls, yes.
Pretty good band.
What's an Indigo?
We have
Indigo Child?
Yeah.
I have no idea. You?
I've never heard of it.
I have no idea what an Indigo Child is.
I see kind of like a more of an awareness among younger people, depending on where they're from, where they come from, their backgrounds mainly.
My daughter, who's 8, told me she waited a long time to come to Earth to have me as a parent, like she had a mission. So.
What's her mission? Did she say?
She hasn't said yet, but she seems to be really wise and really all-knowing and old soul. Maybe she's an Indigo Child.
Indigo children have access to human experience at a larger level, at a greater depth than most people do. They access the data in a different way, the incoming data of life. And they access data that some people don't have access to at all. And so sometimes indigo children are mistaken or misunderstood to be children with attention deficit disorder or children with some sort of deficit of some kind or another. And in fact, it isn't that they have a deficit, but they have a supplement. They have more, not less.
According to research presented in August 2005 by the University of Chicago, children born in the beginning of the 1980s are showing 2 newly identified genes. These 2 genes, called microcephalin and ASPM, are thought to regulate brain growth and appear to have undergone strong natural selection since the human and chimpanzee lineages split between 5 million and 7 million years ago. Only 70% of these children have one of these genes, while the other 30% show both. These individuals are known as the new children.
Why are indigos here? Indigos are here to bridge heaven and earth.
It's not the indigo children, it's not the crystal children or the rainbow children, it's the children of today. So when you start to categorize, we are again putting labels on something.
We're a society that loves labels, and it wants to compartmentalize, and humans kind of do it by nature. We like to put things into their place and have everything have its little perfect place where it's supposed to be. But in the process of saying that there's a separate phenomenon of indigos, indigo children, or crystal children, or whatever it happens to be, we forget that every human being that's brought on this planet has a gift. They're all gifted. We're all gifted. We all have something special about us.
I would try not to use any terminology whatsoever. I would try very, very much not to do any labeling. But since this is a world that uses verbal communication, I would try to use as few words as possible. I would use the one word, developed. They have a development that is different than other people, other individuals.
Say you're an indigo, and somebody comes up to you and asks you a question of something. Say it's your mom or dad, they come up to you, ask you something, or your friends or anything, they come up and ask you something about their life that you don't know about, and you could tell them what it was and how it happened and everything like that. And then they just look at you and say, "You're freaky," or something like that.
I honor that there are children who are very special. However, I have not met one yet that is not or does not have the capability of becoming very special.
I'd like to believe that our whole society, our whole world, is evolving together. Some may be a little faster than others, but hopefully everyone is evolving together as human beings.
They're all psychic children. They all have the ability to heal on some level. They can see people who are no longer with us.
I realized I was different from a very early age with many supernatural occurrences happening. Psychic abilities, abilities to see what hasn't happened yet.
I put the hand over the pain and like an angel comes, I don't know what he is, he puts the hand over your hand and it makes the pain go away, which is laughing.
I can tell how someone's feeling even if I'm not talking to them, or I can pick up on people's energy just like that. I can tell if someone's intentions are good or bad.
If my mom is mad, then her aura will turn completely red. No whites, no blues, no nothing, just red.
Skeptics might argue that the whole topic gives false hope to parents of children with mental disorders. However, 30% of the children match standard IQ test scores of 150 to 160, while the IQ of the average person falls between 90 and 110, and the classification of genius begins around 130. This is an unprecedented leap in intelligence, with no genetic markers to account for it.
Putting the label indigo, on somebody kind of is almost, or was for me, almost intimidating to live up to. Because, you hear all this stuff like, wow, so if I'm indigo, does that mean I can never wake up and have a bad morning? Does that mean I can never, never have it get into a bad mood?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the label might be a little limiting sometimes, but once I realize, wait a second, we're just kids who want to make the world a better place.
The soul of this child is wise and mature, sometimes even beyond yours. At the same time, this mature and wise soul, and very capable soul, is trying to incarnate into this child body-mind. So don't forget that the child has to be raised, and the great soul has to be respected.
They call them Indigo Children. They have high IQs, heightened intuition, and some claim they can see dead people.
Teens like Sandy claim they're part of a special generation born after 1978 known as Indigo Children, for the deep blue auras that psychics say they see around them. Indigo Children have high IQs and tend to be rebellious and oversensitive. They're often also said to share special gifts, heightened intuition, and psychic abilities.
She's one of them, isn't she?
Excuse me?
An indigo, like my son.
In recent years, the indigo phenomenon has made its way into movies, books, websites, and even to the therapist's office.
Marjorie, when a doctor says there's no such thing as indigo children, it's just a label that parents are putting on kids who have ADD or some other condition.
I disagree. In my heart of hearts, I disagree. I've seen too many things.
Okay, well, come on back.
Dr. Trent Nichols is a gastroenterologist in Pennsylvania who treats children for extreme food sensitivities. He believes that up to 3% of those he sees are indigo kids.
I think we are seeing children that really seem to be way advanced for their years, or sensitive to certain things, or sensitive about other things in their environment. And I see this in some of my patients now. I don't think we saw it before. I don't remember 30 years ago doing that, because I've been a physician since '69.
So you think something's going on here?
Yeah, I think something, but it's hard to say what.
So the claims of people that these could be a special group, indigo children, can't be rejected out of hand.
Right.
Inhale, peace. Exhale.
Psychics claim that indigo children have indigo-colored energy fields or auras around them.
Smile. Good. Thank you.
We asked a woman who claims she can take pictures of your aura to come to the Bershads' home and snap some shots of Sandy and me with her so-called aura camera.
That's the center of your being, and you do have transformation coming in.
In my photograph, there was a little indigo color, but in Sandy's, indigo dominated the picture. So are indigos really the next step in human evolution, as many believers suggest? If you have any...
Indigo is a beautiful color, but it's just a color. What really means is that human start shifting.
These are children with an extraordinarily different sense of things, a larger sense of things. Indigo children, to me, are children who have an expanded awareness, dramatically expanded awareness of everything around them, things seen and unseen.
They have a very deep spiritual base, not religious base, spiritual. If you talk to them, I don't care how they have been raised, they have a sense of knowing that there is a greater power. There is more than what we see.
They are also great healers. You know, they have the purest heart that you could find. I've dealt with a lot of them, and that's what I found them to be.
人間は神の子でありますから、神の摂理、神の教えを忘れないで、いる、あるいは生まれてきた子供です。
Early in the program, we told you about Indigo Children, kids who some feel are mentally and spiritually gifted, who are said to have indigo-colored energy fields or auras around them. Aura photographer Nancy Stevens had taken my picture to see what kind of aura I have, and she joins me to talk about it. How'd the photo turn out?
Fabulous.
Let's take a look at it. What do you see in this? There. Uh-oh, what's that?
Okay.
That's yellow, isn't it?
Yes, the yellow reveals that you're an intellect, you're very intellectual. The white above you, that white arc, displays your spirit guides, otherwise known as angelic beings or deceased loved ones. The purple on the left side reveals that you are a visionary. It's a combination of red and blue equals purple. Red is grounded strength, it's chi, vitality, it's leadership and courage, and then the blue, which is hidden within the purple, reveals that you're very good at communication.
So you basically, I don't quite understand how your camera works, but I mean, it gets these things. Are they different for everybody?
Every photograph is unique, like a snowflake.
And what do you do this, what, at bar mitzvahs and parties, or?
I get called to many unusual events. They range from, I've done bar mitzvahs, I've done animals, showers. I just did a Overeaters Anonymous party last weekend.
Let's just take a look at the photo again. It's, I mean, it's an interesting, why do you think people want to have your services? What do you think this gives people?
Because it indicates what their strengths are, their emotional energy, their spiritual energy, and their physical energy. It gives them a lot of insight as to who they are.
An indigo child is really hard to define because there's no really definite definition. But, like, you know, in a phrase, I think it would be, you know, somebody who wants to, who has ideas about how they can make the world a better place. If they were to say, you know, oh, you're naive, you're a child, I'd say exactly, I'm a child, which is why I'm not, you know, I'm not burdened with the sense of, you know, oh, well, the world's screwed. No, you know, the world's not screwed. We can turn it around. We just have to get some work on it. If each single person in the whole world thinks, oh, one person can't change it, nothing happens. If each person thinks, well, one person can't change the world, but one person can do a little bit, each person does a little bit, it adds up, and we've got the golden age again.